What is up? Welcome to another episode of RunTok Live, where before we get into anything else, I just want to say, because I told you all right here on this podcast, I've been saying it for the better part of 3 years, that 1,500 meter final at this Olympic Games is going to be epic. I knew it after Tokyo 3 years ago, but man, did it live up to the hype. Love it.
The biggest race I can ever remember watching, in all
Oh
honesty.
man, yes.
What happens when three runners
from different parts of the country
with different running stories
all get together?
Pure
RunTok
madness.
So listen in as we talk about all things running related.
And some things that maybe aren't running related.
As it's bound to be a good time. This is
RunTok Live.
Same, I mean, and there's others, like granted, the 100 meter, right, where Noah Lyles won the gold, the 100 meter final was really good. That was a really, really good race too. But for us as distance runners and endurance athletes and marathon runners, like, that was just awesome. That was all kinds of awesome, like 20 different kinds of awesome.
I got goosebumps just thinking. Like, look at it, my hair's standing up right now. Like, I got goosebumps just thinking about it.
New goosebumps?
Yes, I did. I got the goosebumps.
We're like in the puns today. It's like Cole went and took it Hock-Tua. Even though the guy on the announcements kept pronouncing his name wrong, right, Carolyn? Hoker?
Hoker. I'm sorry,
Hoker.
what?
He was a hoker.
Good.
Does anyone want to take a guess as to who is going to be on the next cover of Runner's World magazine?
I think it's... Does Cole Hocker have a nickname?
Yeah, I don't think so. He's not that I know of.
Okay, because I figured, I mean, Nagoose obviously has the goose, so
Right.
I was trying to see, maybe they're going to have Cole Hocker holding a goose. I don't know.
No, that was so much fun. You were watching it from your phone too, Chase, right? You're at work?
Yeah, I was at work, and I was watching it from my phone. You guys kept messaging me, and I just kept having to swipe up. I'm like, get out of the way, get out of the way.
Oh, and I think if I heard it correctly, that's the first time in 120 years that two Americans have placed in the top 3 in the 1500.
Yeah, I didn't even look into that much. But yeah, that was pretty awesome that we had 2 Americans on the podium for the 1,500.
And then 3 Americans in the top 5.
Oh man, and I'll tell you what, I've never really, I don't know that I've ever said it out loud, but I'll take this opportunity to, because I know Hobbs Kessler will listen to this, but but when Hobbs Kessler first decided to forego college and go pro, I thought that was the wrong decision, right? Like, I was like, dude, that's the wrong decision. And I based it mostly on the fact that, like, you know, I watched him in interviews. He didn't look very, like, mature. And for lack of a better term, really, he kind of seemed dumb. Like, if you ever watch him in interviews, he just always kind of looks like he's holding in a fart. Like, he's always got, like, that kind of look on his face. And I'm sorry, Cole, I am, because you proved me wrong today, man. Like, going pro was the right move. Congratulations. Sorry you didn't make it on the podium with the other 2 guys, but you ran a hell of a race also.
I hope he is listening, just for that comment alone. If that's the only thing he heard from this podcast, I will be satisfied. Oh man, but no, that was what's that? Well, number one, it's hard to be surprised because there's 7 people in that race that had a legit shot at winning the race, right? But the reality is, the media, the world, they were thinking Jakob Kerr. And then who's going to be third? Is it going to be Hocker? Is it going to be Nagoose? Who is it going to be, right? Yeah,
I
it
don't.
was.
Yeah, I had a feeling about Hocker, and there's kind of a long story that I'll kind of get into here in a minute. But I had a feeling about Hocker going into this race. One, he looked like he was in incredible shape, just the best that he's been in a long time. And yeah, I threw $1 down on BetMGM and won 15 out of it. So it's like should have rolled with some bigger money there, I guess.
Where were you, Carolyn, watching? Where when this race took place? Where were you?
I was sitting on my couch with the worst posture ever. Like, and it's interesting because I fully believed that Jakob Ingebrigtsen was going to win. And for the first, I don't know, 1,000 meters, no, 1,200 meters, he was leading.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it came down to the last 100 meters and Cole just kicked it. And, I wonder if there was so much pressure on Ingebrigtsen and Kerr that Hocker was just relaxed,
No,
I think so. I think that's the card he was playing he was like, I'm the underdog here. There's no pressure on me. They're all watching those guys. So,
well, and I think so. This is where you always hear people say like there is a mind game in running, right? There is a chess match in running, and you don't necessarily have to be the fastest runner on any given day to win a race. Now, I'm not saying Cole Hocker wasn't the fastest runner. I think he was, but with that being said, Jakob did not run his standard race style, right?
mm-hmm.
He went out from the get-go, took the lead.
He went out guns blazing. And that's not necessarily it's not necessarily unlike him to lead from the start of the race, but those splits, I mean, I think he came through the 400 at like 53 seconds, and then they were 152, something like that at 800. So, I mean, he just took it out blazing. They were talking about, possibility of a world record being broken, and I think Jakob was just like, yep.
I think his game plan was to shake it up. Like his game plan was, okay, these guys think I'm going to do this, so I'm going to do this instead. And he took control, right? It's kind of like the and I don't know if you've still seen that movie Without Limits, Carolyn, but when the announcer says one man made the race and another man won it. To be clear, Jakob Ingebrigtsen made that race, right? He made it what it was.
Made it what it was for sure. But it's funny you mentioned that, Jake, because the part that I resonated with the most was the part of Without Limits after that race is done, and Don Cardone goes up to Pre's girlfriend Mary and says, "Tell him congratulations for me because he just ran the greatest race I've ever seen." And that's just how I felt today. I was like, man, that race was amazing.
Yeah, like how can you be? I mean, it sucks to not podium, right? When you're expected to podium, but how can you not be happy with that performance? They all ran the greatest race I've ever seen. Like that's going to go down in history. Realistically, they're going to be competing again in 4 years. Those group of runners.
And that's exactly what I said 3 years ago after Tokyo, right? Like, so, and I'll kind of paint the picture real quick. And sorry if you want to hear some more about the Olympics. We'll get to the rest of the Olympics here in just a minute, I swear. But 3 years ago, right, Cole Hocker was coming off of a sophomore year at Oregon. He had Oregon bypassed the cross-country nationals, right, because 2021, we were coming off of COVID. So cross-country nationals for NCAAs had been pushed back. It had been delayed. Oregon, as a team, elected to focus on indoor track rather than cross-country. So from there on, Cole Hocker just dominated that entire outdoor season. Jared Naguse was there too, running for Notre Dame, but that was Cole Hocker's year. And for anybody that doesn't know like how NCAA works, but they run a lot more races than the pros do because they're basically running about every weekend. So they run more races than the pros do. So Cole Hocker dominates that entire year, wins indoor and outdoor track for 1,500 and maybe the 5,000 or something like that. Goes to the Olympic trials, makes it to the finals, beats out Matt Centrowitz, the defending gold medalists at the time.
Yep.
And then makes it all the way to the finals of the Olympics. He has ran more 1,500s at that point than any other competitor in the field. And he was young, and so was Jakob Ingebrigtsen at the time, and so was Josh Kerr. So you're looking at all the people who finished up high at Tokyo. Cole Hocker got 6th at Tokyo. You're looking at that, and you're like, man, we'll be watching these guys compete for the next 10 years, essentially. Yep. So, and I said it then. I was like, man, the next Olympics is going to be lit. It is going to be so amazing if these guys can make it to the line and make it healthy. And that's exactly what we got. We got all those runners, the best runners in that event, all healthy at the same time. And it was amazing.
It was, I don't know, Carolyn, and I'm sorry, I feel like I'm still in your mic time here, but it was, I didn't want to go back to work. Like I just wanted to just wallow in what I was watching and listen to all the interviews, which I didn't. So I don't know how those interviews look. I don't know what Jakob Ingebrigtsen had to say afterwards. I wish I did. But did you guys see how close Nagus was to second place?
Yeah, he was like maybe thousandths of a second right behind
Kerr. He was 100th of a second behind Kerr. Like if he had 4 more yards to do it, he would have been there. Well, we were talking about we were slowly transitioning into the 100 and
right.
how close that race was, compared to how close the top 3 were for the 1500.
The 100, another race that the USA got gold and bronze in.
Yeah, it's. Let me ask you guys this before we really dive into the 100 or any other race for that matter. Do you think it's safe to say that American distance running is back? Like,
I think based on what we're seeing now, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say so because, like, granted, the 1500, some of the more purists might consider it more middle distance running, but we just had Grant Fisher get the bronze in the 5 or the 10. Sorry, so granted, Galen Rupp did that 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So, yeah, I think it's definitely trending in the right direction. The 5,000 will be fun to watch. I'll be seeing if Grant can repeat his performance there.
Yeah, people are saying, or what I've been seeing is Ingebrigtsen has a better chance of medaling in the 5,000 than the 1,500.
I think he does. I think that, and he'll even tell you, based on like interviews that I've seen with Jakob, that he's better at those distance races, and he doesn't have the speed for the 800 and the 15. He just sees it as more of a challenge for him. So he's not, like, he doesn't have the fastest time of the year, I don't think, and he doesn't have the fastest time going into the event. But the 10,000 meter gold medalist Joshua Cheptegei bounced out of the 5,000 today, so that's not something he's going to have to worry about. So yeah, I think Jakob's probably going to take the 5.
I mean, after today, if a fire's not lit under him,
he's definitely going to be motivated.
Yeah, he's going to be motivated. It's going to be fun, but I can't say 100% it's going to be him at this point. I think it will be. If I had to place a bet on someone, I'm placing a bet on him. But it's not a for sure thing, right? It really isn't. It really isn't. And I also wanted to throw this out there, and I don't know if we've said this before. Maybe you said this before, Chase, and I'm just repeating something you said. Cole Hocker, greatest kicker of our generation right now, of this running generation that's competing at a high level. His
the only person I've seen outkick Cole Hocker, like, legitimately, is Jordy Beamish, who's running the steeplechase. So he's the only person that I've ever seen, like, legitimately outkick Cole Hocker.
But think about, and what I was thinking about, and I know we're going back to talking about the 1500 again. So like I said, we could probably spend a whole episode on this. We won't, don't worry. But Jakob Ingram's, we're talking about Jakob, how he pushed the pace. Like he ran a little bit outside of his norm, took a risk. And Cole Hocker ran his race. Like he ran what he does. He didn't
He
steer
did
away
exactly
from
what
that.
he does. Yeah.
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 Which is
And it worked.
terrifying because Cole Hocker likes to ride that inside line going around that last curve. He's done it since I started watching him 3-4 years ago. So like he makes me so nervous when he rides that inside rail. But it's also a testament to his patience, though, right? His patience and as a tactical runner. So
Well, the announcers, they were even saying, because that first lap, he was back in like 6th or 7th place,
sure.
right? And they were just saying, oh, he can't be back there. He can't be back there. He does not have the kick to kick that far. And guess what? He got up there and he kicked and he won the race. So,
I feel like all these announcers are just underestimating people. Like we have Cole Hocker that got underestimated, Noah Lyles that got when are announcers gonna just cheer
I
for
don't think they underestimated. I just think it's so hard to know what's in their head, like what's in that runner's head, what is their thought process.
Sure, yeah.
Because I did not think Jakob was going to do what he did, and he did it, and I was impressed. Like at the end of the day, I was impressed with his it was just, I don't know. I got no words. Like I wish I was there in person. I wish I could have seen this live, but I got to see it on TV, and I can't even talk right now. I'm mumbling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like more people are watching the Olympics this year than ever. Like people that I know that aren't huge sports fans are watching, all these Olympic events now, and it's just wild that we're all able to just kind of talk. I mean, even people that don't play sports or are not athletic and stuff. So I'm just happy to see athletes succeeding, like Hocker and then Lyles. Can we talk about Lyles for a second?
Absolutely, man. The dude is the fastest man in the world now for 2 years in a row. Yep. And like that, again, that was a great race in itself. If I was a sprinter and I wasn't a distance runner, if I was just a normal person watching that track event, I would probably, say that 100 meters was, probably the best race. But, and Noah Lyles doing what he does because he's such a bad starter. Like, and he didn't get a horrible start in this race, but he still had to come. They said that he did, but it didn't look like it to me. Not his worst by a long shot, but his top end speed rivals Usain Bolt's. Like Usain Bolt had a reputation for being a bad starter too, but I don't think he was anywhere near as bad as Lyles is. But man, Lyles' top end speed is bonkers. That's why I think he's a shoo-in for the 200. Like that's his better event.
Exactly. Yeah, because I did watching it on replay, and just watching the race kind of on repeat a couple of times. He definitely did have a quote unquote bad start, right? I mean, he was in the back of the pack for that first 20%.
That's pretty typical of him. Like that's just his MO.
It is. You wouldn't think.
Right.
You just wouldn't think that would win you a race, and it's winning him races, which just goes to show, to your point, what you said, Chase, his top end speed there's just no rival for it right now. There really isn't. At the end of the day, though, what I'm loving about this year's Olympics is outside of a few circumstances, particularly in the field events, there's no like clear standout, dominant, this person's going to win, no one is going to even touch them person. There's, like I said, there's a couple.
You said outside of the field events, right? Okay.
Yeah, I said outside of field events.
I was going to say Mondu Duplantis.
which I know now who that is. Before when we talked about him, I didn't know who that was. And now,
really?
Yeah, remember? Because I never really followed field up until recently. But yeah, now I'm like, no one's touching.
Yeah, I mean, if he wasn't so good, I probably wouldn't know you. I turned it on yesterday, and I was trying to explain to my wife what was going on. He was still jumping, and she was like, "Is everybody's done?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's already got the gold medal." And she's like, "Then why is he still jumping?" And I was like, he's going for a world record. I was like, and she was like, oh, I guess that's a big deal. I was like, kind of. For him, it's like the 9th time he's done it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and we forgot to mention Cole Hocker Olympic record today,
yeah.
by the way. So
Olympic record,
not
just less than a 10th of a second off of the
world.
American record, I think.
Yeah. Or American. Yeah, I said world. American.
Less than 1 second off the American record. But yeah, Olympic record. Yeah.
Which is incredible. And like I said,
Yeah.
this group is going to be around in 4 years. This
Yep.
group is going to be racing each other in 4 years.
Yep,
And
these
they're gonna
guys are
be even
23,
faster.
24 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be even faster. They're like, oh, I can't.
Yeah.
Can we skip to 4 years from now and go to LA and watch this thing? Like,
But other dominating people, though, I would go. Did you guys happen to see the mixed 4x4?
yeah.
So the United States, this is bonkers. United States breaks the world record in the mixed 4x4 in the semifinal, and then gets silver in the final.
Yep.
Well,
Is that the one where they almost bonked the exchange too? Because the exchange was that the 4x4 or was that the 4x1 that they did that?
I think it was the 4x1. Yeah.
Okay.
The 4x4 was pretty clean, but the men didn't have as fast as splits, both of the male legs, and that just left just enough space for Femke Bol out of the Netherlands to catch him, because she's really good. She's second best in her event, unfortunately. She's probably
And
the
this is
second best of all time in her event, but
this is the one where one of the girls is 19 years old, if I remember. One of the two girls that raced was 19 I believe she's out of North Carolina.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't remember who exactly was in the four.
It was a girl that ran the last leg, right?
Maybe, yeah. And
Yeah,
nothing against them either, but isn't it a little annoying that we don't put our best 400 runners in that event? Like,
yeah.
Granted, there's other events going on, I get that, but the Netherlands put their best 400 runners in that event. That's why they got gold.
Yep.
If Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone would have been anchoring that relay instead of whoever that was, I doubt we would have lost.
Yeah.
So it's just that's fine. We've still got more gold medals than any other country in the Olympics, and we've also got more gold medals than. This is bonkers. I'm looking at the total medal count right now. United States, 5
86.
gold. But yeah, I'm looking at just track and field though. This is just track and field. United States, 5 gold, 5 silver, 6 bronze for 16 total. The next team, Kenya, has 4 total medals. We've got 5 golds.
That's wild.
And you know what else is crazy to me? I'm just looking at the list right now, and this is total medals at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought, for some reason in my head, Jamaica was more dominant than what they're being so far at this Olympics.
Well, their two fastest women dropped out, right? Sharika Jackson and Shelly and Fraser Price.
Yeah, they've only got 4 medals total.
Yeah,
across the board right now. 3 silvers, 1 bronze, and that's it. No golds.
Well, Fraser Price, didn't she get denied entry into her race? Or she didn't make it to the start line?
Maybe. I know she dropped out of one of them, though.
Okay, because I heard
I'm not sure.
I heard that there was Carrie Richardson almost missed her event, and then I want to say it was Fraser Price.
Maybe.
And Richardson was able to show up to her event, but she didn't warm up. And then I'm not really sure with Fraser Price.
Yeah, and Sharika Jackson dropped out after the semis, I think, of the 100. And then she dropped out either yesterday or today of the 200, which left the door wide open for the United States again. Gabby Thomas taking the gold in the 200 today as well.
Man, I was so proud of her.
She's really good, and I credit that. I credit my fandom of her to last year's 4x1 at the World Championships that the USA won. I don't know if you guys see it on your feed all the time. I do. but that 4x1 race from the women last year, where Sha'Carri anchors it, and then at the very end, as she crosses the finish line, she just gives it a fist pump, and that's just one of the most, like, to me, that was just a great moment, not just for Sha'Carri Richardson, but for USA track and field too. Like, it was just a good iconic moment. But Gabby Thomas's leg of that 4x1 last year was ridiculous. Like, coming around the curve of the first 100 of the 200 start, she was just flying.
Yeah, I didn't see that race, the one you're talking about a year ago, but I've seen the highlights of it.
Yeah.
I see that part, which it is fun to watch that for sure.
Yeah, that was a really good race.
And then Sha'Carri got her Olympic medal. She got to run, which is...
Yeah, she got silver. She got off to a really bad start, too.
And I think that was because there was the situation with transportation beforehand, and she was just kind of flustered. But, I mean, she got her medal, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, I was honestly bummed that she didn't get gold, but, you know, kudos to, what's her name? I can't remember the girl from St. Lucienne. I don't know. It was her country's first Olympic medal. So, and then she got silver again in the 200 today. So,
and then so Quincy Wilson, he medaled as well, right? The 16-year-old that went to the Olympics.
I don't think they've ran the 4x4 yet.
Oh, they haven't. Okay.
Not the men's 4x4. They've done the mixed. He was not a part of that.
He wasn't. Okay.
Let me see here. Men's 4x4.
How about, did you guys see the men's steeplechase? The guy from Kenyan, Amos,
when he
got knocked around the edge.
He missed the jump, had to circle around, come back. Still came back and you know and put in a good effort. Unfortunately, obviously it didn't work out for him.
Well, they put him through he got a place in the finals.
Yeah, but that's hard because again, I've only done one steeplechase race in my entire life, and it was ridiculously hard. And to go in, you know, because he had to basically just kind of step over that steeplechase, so he kind of went in waist deep at that point, and then had to run out. And at that, you're soaked, you're running, you're trying to catch up. Like, that was a lot of work, lot of work for him. But also testament to how talented he is too.
Yeah.
The men's 4x4 heats are Friday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's like a traditional track meet. The 4x4 is typically the very last event. So
Perfect. Well, I will be watching.
So so we're talking about American distance running. You know, we're getting some surprises. We got a medalist in the 10,000, which we haven't seen since I think 12 years. And then we got first and third in the 1,500. Potentially a medalist in the 5,000, right? If we, you know, a potential top 3 guy. Do you think we have any shot at all at placing top 3 in the marathon?
No. And that's no disrespect to Connor Mance or Clayton Young, or maybe on the women's side. Who we got? We got Fiona O'Keefe. We got Dakota Lindberm and Emma Bates. No,
I haven't checked the start list.
Let me look it up. But maybe on the women's side, but I don't see it on the men's. I think, you know, we're going to witness something very special in the men's marathon with Kipchoge and Bekele's kind of last. That's going to be the last time that they run against each other, probably. So 2 of the greatest in our sport, which I got a bone to pick. You guys familiar with ESPN's top 100 athletes list?
Yes.
So some people were pretty bummed out that there was no distance runners on there. Kanesia Bekele was actually voted by ESPN as the top distance runner of this generation since 2000. And when you measure the entire body of work, it's hard to argue with that, except for the fact that I would say that Kipchoge has broken world records. He's won marathons. He's won at multiple different distances, and Bekele has too. But I think I'd still give the nod to Kipchoge.
I would give it to
And I'm
Kipchoge.
upset that he didn't make it into that top 100 list. Like, how does the marathon world record holder or former world record holder not make it into your top 100 athletes list?
I would give it to Kipchoge for all the reasons that you just said, and the fact that despite it wasn't in a race setting, he is the first human ever to break 2 hours in the marathon. Right?
Exactly. So how does that person not make it into your top 100 list? That makes no sense, ESPN.
I'll tell you how. Because he's not a NBA player, an NFL player. Because I feel like they tend to stick towards all the popular, sports.
Well, Michael Phelps was the best overall.
Yeah, they had other people on there, but
he should have been on the list. He should have been on there somewhere.
Yeah.
There was a lot of other issues that I had with that list. That was not the only one, but
I had quite a few, and we don't want to spend the entire.
No, let's stay focused on the Olympics.
that was pretty disappointing.
So what race or what event in this Olympics have you found yourself the most? Would you say that it's the weirdest that you're excited about, or that you've been excited about? You got more into it than you ever thought that you would.
Archery. Okay. Hear me out. So I didn't realize just how far away from the board that these shooters were until I watched it. I could not take my eyes off of the screen. I was like yelling for this really talented athlete from Turkey. I don't even know. I couldn't point out where Turkey is on a map, but I was rooting for this athlete. So I mean, talented people.
Well, speaking of Turkey,
by the guy from Turkey that was doing the shooting, the pistol shooting.
That's literally what I was just gonna say.
Yep.
The only one with no special equipment, just eyeballing it.
We all know where they recruited that guy at.
No, I'll tell you what. I don't know a lot about cycling. I really don't. I don't follow the sport, but it was pretty fun to watch during this Olympics. And then just the fact that a lot of what they had to do was on wet surface too, and just seeing some of the crashes and the turns and the slowdowns they had to do, and even the people going out to repair the bikes were slipping on the roads. And I can't tell you how hard that is because I legitimately don't know, but it looked really hard, right? Like it looked like it was really tough conditions, and the finish was close too. It was fun.
And I didn't realize they have indoor cycling too. Like they're going around like I think that was today. They were going around a huge track. So
yeah, I got weirdly into mountain biking a couple days ago. I was enjoying that. Yeah.
Have they done the breakdancing yet, or the team dancing, whatever? I haven't seen it.
I don't think so.
Because that's the one I want to watch, Dan. I want to see what's going on with that.
Yeah. Well, they've done a lot of the like BMX. They just started sports climbing. So, but that's a good question. I don't know when they're.
Let's see, breaking.
What would you even classify?
It's on Friday.
Oh, it is?
Oh, yeah. It's on. The gold medal battle is on Friday, so they must have rounds starting
soon. Yeah, probably.
So yeah, this is hilarious. We're talking about the Olympics here, and it says Friday, August 9th, pre-qualifier battle. It's a breakdancing battle.
Okay, I'm part of that.
Yeah. So Friday, it sounds like Friday and Saturday is the breakdancing.
Going back to we're talking about popular sports and that ESPN list and all that. I have a question for you guys, and this is gonna age me and make me look dumb, but I'm just gonna ask it anyways. You talk about all these video games, right? And they have Madden and they have the NBA 2K whatever and all, they even have the PGA Tour games and race car games and everything. Do they have a game that is themed towards Olympics, towards like all the competitions of the Olympics, all the sports within the Olympics? Do they have one?
I think they've done one in the past, like old school, like Super Nintendo. I want to say there's like there's like an Atlanta Olympics video game, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
I'm just curious. I could see a virtual reality version, a game of it, or a Wii game. I don't even know if Wii is still around, guys, to be honest with you. But
Well, see, Wii Sports is about as close as you'd get, right?
yeah.
Olympics in video games. Olympic sports subgenre dates back to 1980. The Olympic Decathlon was a game on Konami's arcade. There was a track and field game, and then Olympic Gold was released in time for the 92 Summer Olympics.
I'm going to go break out the old Konami and play that Decathlon game.
Hook that up to your Atari, Jake.
Hey, I'm proud of you for even knowing what an Atari is.
That's a fair point, yeah.
I mean, I know people who have had Ataris, and
I had an Atari. I was one of them. I had an Atari and a Sega Genesis, and
nice.
all those old-fashioned ones. The last gaming system I ever officially owned, though, was an Xbox 360. So after that, nothing.
I think my husband has the newest Xbox.
I've been wanting to break out my PlayStation lately, but I just haven't. I know that once I do, like, everything else is gonna go to the side.
Listen, I'll tell you what. To take it back to racing, the greatest video game of all time will forever be Mario Kart, the original Mario Kart.
I still play that on my Switch. So,
right?
The original. I would argue that the greatest Mario Kart is actually Mario Kart Double Dash for the GameCube.
I've never played it, so I couldn't tell you, but
yeah.
I was all about Mario Kart and NBA Jam when those two games were out.
He's on fire. What about the 3-on-3? What's going on with that?
Oh, speaking of which, yeah, Jimmer Fredette, man. Have you guys been watching him at all? I don't know if you follow basketball 3-on-3, but Jimmer Fredette played for my Sacramento Kings for a short stint. He was drafted and then traded to the Sacramento Kings before he even went into the whatever team he was originally drafted by. But the cool part about Jimmer Fredette, I moved to New York from California, a big Sacramento Kings fan. I moved to New York, and I arrived to Glens Falls, New York, which is where I moved to, on the day of the draft, which is the day that Jimmer Fredette was drafted, and Jimmer Fredette is from Glens Falls, New York. He actually went to that high school there. So it was like a huge deal. And then he got drafted to my Sacramento Kings. I had moved from Sacramento to Glens Falls, and he was drafted that day. Granted, he was playing for, was it BYU or what are the, it starts with a B? I don't remember which one.
Yeah, it was BYU.
But now he plays in China, I think, or Japan, overseas, and he's just lighting it up in the Olympics right now in 3-on-3. I haven't seen what he's done lately.
No, he's not.
He was, yeah.
No, he's not. The United States team, I think, maybe won one game.
I gotta look it up.
Yeah, no, the United States team was awful in 3-on-3. Women's 3-on-3, we won the bronze.
Nice.
But men's 3-on-3, we got smoked.
Oh, Jimmer Fredette got injured and had to miss. Looks like the final two matches, and U.S. ended up losing.
Yeah. No, don't let that fool you. He wasn't doing good before. I like Jimmer Fredette, I do, but
I love Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah, it's a nice little story, and I was a big Jimmer Fredette fan whenever he was at BYU. But what the heck? Why do we have these people in our three? And I'm a big Pat McAfee fan, so they obviously talk about it on here. But we should be able to put our best athletes in the sport. And there's all kinds of these rules surrounding the 3-on-3 basketball. You have to score so many points in like world tournaments and this and that and the other, to where our NBA players, our usual NBA players, can't. Basically, they're not eligible for 3-on-3 basketball. But if we put the three best, basketball players that didn't make our Olympic team on the 3-on-3 team, we would dominate. It wouldn't be It wouldn't be a contest.
Yeah, I feel like it's not right though, because they're all on summer break or like off season, and we're like, you know what you need to do? Come do more sports.
Oh, I'm sure that they wouldn't mind if it meant playing for their country and trying to win a gold medal.
Okay, true.
Just like Team USA doesn't for basketball. Like they're all in for the team right now, and they're all buying into the team game. So,
for the record, the 2 games that Jimmer Fredette did play, he averaged 21 points and was shooting 42% from 3.
That's not bad.
You can't average 21 points.
For the 2 games?
That means that he won both of those games. They only played a 21. Those stats are wrong.
I'm reading this from USA Today, so it very well could be.
Yeah, they played a 21.
Maybe it was 21 points total.
Yeah, they played a 21. So, yeah, he may have had 21 points throughout those 2 games.
Overall, group play of the tournament, failing to make the knockout stage. I don't even know what the knockout stage is.
It's just like the other basketball tournament. They have a pool, and they have to do so good in their pool in order to make the knockout stage.
Oh, they're talking about his BYU, and it was 28 points, not 21.
Yeah, that makes sense.
42% from 3.
Yeah.
Still, I love Jimmer for that. Yeah, my Sacramento Kings had him. They let him go. Not running related, guys, but still, it's Olympic related.
No, that's fine. I was actually going to ask, do y'all know what the fastest Olympic sport is?
Fastest? What do you...
Olympic sport.
As in, like, the time played?
Yeah.
3-on-3 might be up there.
It's sport climbing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, I watched some of that. Those guys are crazy. They fly up that wall.
Yeah. I mean, there were people flying. The fastest guy today set the world record at 4.75 seconds.
Yeah.
What the heck?
No, the U.S. guy, right?
Yeah.
USA.
I gotta figure out. There's gotta be, they're adding so many different sports to the Olympics every year or every time.
You're thinking there's got to be a way you can get in there.
There's gotta be a way I can get in, right? Like, there's gotta be something.
What obscure sport are you oddly good at?
Right? I'm gonna find it. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna petition. I'm gonna find whatever skill I'm just masterful at, and I'm gonna petition to have it entered in as a sport. So.
I still think they need to add an adult obstacle course, like the sack race, the 3-legged race, the balloon toss,
something like that they do the ninja courses.
Yeah, like Tough Mudder, maybe. Yeah.
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 I could see that happening. Like, I don't think that's out of this world. I think that's a possibility. Like a Spartan Tough Mudder type of CrossFit games kind of thing.
Ultimate Ninja Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking of, is Ultimate Ninja, because those guys are incredible athletes too. So
yeah,
insane. I was actually in the audience for an episode of American Ninja Warrior back in college.
Oh.
Nice.
And yeah, we got like $50 for the day, but they were like, you get to be on TV and you get to watch the athletes. And I was like, okay.
Cool. So you get paid to be an audience member. Okay.
Yeah. It was like 50, but we had to be there from like 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. because they wanted to film like when it was truly dark. So, fun fact.
Well, that's cool. Well, guys, we still got some big races coming up. 5,000 is going to be huge. Can't wait for that. The marathon. I'm actually going. I was just telling Carolyn before we started filming. I'm going to a watch party on Saturday to watch the marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Where do they do that at?
Race walking starts tomorrow, guys. That is the unbiased, but that's the best Olympic sport.
Which one?
Race walking.
Oh yeah,
So
we know
that kicked
Carolyn
off the
loves.
track events too. Yeah.
Man. You know what? Here's what happens is they cross the finish line and then they all go to the medical tent because their hips are just jacked.
I want to see this, and you know what? I'm just now thinking of this. So there's this guy in my neighborhood. Whenever I go running, I always see him running, aka jogging, backwards, and he jogs backwards his entire route that he does. Because I'll do this 3.5 mile loop, and I'll see him at one point, then I'll go around to the other side, and then there he is, and he's still like he's running the whole thing backwards. I see a race. Maybe backwards running is going to be my sport. I should give that a try.
Isn't backwards running good for your knees?
So they say, like, you know, if you want to balance out your muscle fibers and the way that you're doing your you know, developing your muscles, you should do some backwards walking or backwards running every once in a while. But this guy makes it like every run I see, he's running backwards. And he'll even be on his phone sometimes, like jogging backwards. He obviously knows his route, like literally like by the back of his hand, because he's just not even looking behind him. But yeah, backwards running. Let's see, what'll happen first, a Tough Mudder or backwards running? Probably Tough Mudder. But
Tough Mudder. That's so fun. And so, speaking of race walking, if you slow down the videos, they're actually running. But
Yeah, it's
like with just the naked eye, if you cannot tell that, you know, both feet are off the ground at any time, technically it's legal.
there was one video that somebody posted, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was some TikToker, but they were like, "This guy can walk faster than you can run a 5K." And granted, there's people out there that can do that, but this guy was clearly like it was obvious to the naked eye that he was lifting both of his feet off the ground at the same time, and that was just what the comments were just full of. Like, I went through the comments, and everybody is just like, that guy ain't walking." Everybody called him out on it.
Oh.
But
then wasn't there, and I'm trying to find it, and I haven't seen a whole lot of conversation around it. There was the girls China, the 20K race walker, where she was actually a pacer, and she ended up winning for China. I mean, I don't know. Again, I didn't see the race. So don't quote me on any of this, but I know the China runners or race walkers that she was pacing ended up dropping out or getting disqualified and getting kicked out of the race. And so she kept going, and then she ended up winning. But when she crossed the finish line, you know, normally when the China, like, people are supposed to wrap the flag around you and kind of support you, no one was there because their people that were supposed to be there got, you know, they were pulled out of the race. So no one expected her to end up placing in the race, and I think she ended up winning the race.
Wow.
I want to see if I can find it, but yeah,
Jake,
China,
how'd you feel about your boy Nico Young?
well, that was I mean, this kid is young, right? Number one, like he's gonna go to the Olympics again, but this was definitely a learning experience for him, right? Like, he went in there.
He definitely put himself in position for the majority of the race. I think he didn't fall off until like 800 to go.
He fell off with 2.5 laps, and he fell off pretty hard, right? Like, yeah, I think he ended up in 12th place overall. Is where he finished.
But like the top 13 people were all within 13 seconds of the winner, so over 10,000 meters.
Don't get me wrong. He ran great. I was hoping, you know, he wasn't going to win the race, but I was hoping he was going to be like in a top 5 position for his first Olympics ever, you know, to get there and to run. But I mean, at the end of the day, he made it to the Olympics. He ran a strong race. He raced with the best of the best. He's going to be back multiple times. But yeah, that was a little disappointing. I was hoping he was going to do a little bit better place wise. His time was still phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was just a good race that went down to the wire. I mean,
Yeah,
they that whole field did really well.
he's one of those people too. No matter what race it is, whether he's doing the mile or he's doing the 10K, he look from lap one till the final lap. He looks like he's in so much pain. He looks like he is suffering. His facial expression just looks like he's getting the crap beat out of him like every single step he takes.
I was thinking that because I thought you were going to say he looks so comfortable and relaxed. I was like, that's not what I see.
No,
You're right.
There are other runners that do. They're just stone faced, just running. He's just like, I can't even do it. Like he just looks like he's in so much pain. He shows the hurt for sure because everyone's hurting. He shows
Right.
it. He shows the hurt. And part of it is because he's actually like me. He's a very heavy mouth breather. There's the way his mouth is structured. So his mouth is always more open than the average distance runner. But yeah, dude, he looks like he's suffering every race he does, no matter what.
Yeah, he had a solid performance. So I'll
He
tell you
did.
what here's what annoys me. All this is just a little thing. 10,000, no heats.
Yeah.
5,000 heats. Why? Why do we need heats for the 5,000?
You don't.
You
don't, and you shouldn't. You don't, and you shouldn't. That's the other thing. It's not
Exactly.
that you don't need it. You shouldn't be doing that.
Why in the world are we running heats for a 3-mile race? Like, it's just if you can't fit all those runners onto the track, then I don't know. I don't know what you're doing.
What's crazy is, like, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of just. It takes a toll on the body to have to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we talk about how you shouldn't be, as a coach, right? Like, oh, you shouldn't be running a 5K every weekend. You shouldn't be racing, blah, blah, blah. It's too much on the body. That's exactly what they're doing in the Olympics. Like,
Mhm.
Even the 1500, and I understand why you got to do it for the 1500, but the fact that you've got to run heats for that, you got to get into that final round. It's not easy to run 2 strong races in a row like that.
Yeah.
Just a couple days apart from each other too, by the way.
The women's 5,000 was quite the story, huh? Faith Kipyegon, the 1,500-meter world record holder, got silver, got disqualified, challenged it, won the challenge. So the way it went was her and one of the Ethiopian runners got into a little shoving match with a couple laps to go. So Kipyegon gets disqualified. So the 4th place runner, Batacletti, I don't know, she's from Italy, sets an Italian national record in 4th place, then finds out that she's getting bronze. So then she's like, oh, sweet. And then they come back later and say, oh, no, they won the challenge, so you're not getting bronze.
Well,
so there's a system. I mean, I get that there's a system for challenging things like that. That just kind of, that's a whirlwind of emotions for somebody to have to go to. But nevertheless, that girl set a national record for Italy in the 5,000.
That's what I was just going to say. At the end of the day, she still has the record for Italy, right? Like that is amazing.
Yep.
And number 2, this is where like the whole replay thing, like this is our our version of the NFL replay, right? Like it's there for a reason, and I'm glad she challenged it, and they were able to kind of review that, and justice, was accomplished, right?
Right.
So
this
kudos across the board.
Yeah, well, the same thing happened to gymnastics. Did y'all see that with Jordan Childs?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So is that new? Like athletes and coaches being able to challenge results?
Well, I don't think it's new. I think how they review it now is probably, it's getting a little bit more detailed each time, just because we have more and more technology to do so. But I think you've always been able to challenge it, right? I'm sure there's a system or a process in place to do that.
Right.
Gymnastics probably a little bit harder to challenge. It's one thing to challenge a race that, the challenge is the pushing and shoving and seeing who instigated what and did you step here or there. Like that's something you can kind of look at and replay and kind of make a pretty quick decision on, reversal on. Gymnastics, again, I don't know enough about it, but I imagine that's probably a little bit harder to do.
Yeah.
So I'm also surprised they didn't have maybe there's a rule against it, but they didn't have the world record lights for the 1500 or for any of those races for that matter. I don't know if
I don't think they do that
maybe
for
they're not
the
allowed
Olympics.
to. Yeah.
There's something there which is why like you don't typically see in distance events the world record getting broke. Now, obviously, we talked about earlier the 1500. Jakob was going for it because he thought, he knew he was going to have the competition there to push him. But typically, distance events, you see world records broken in sprinting events at the Olympics, just because shorter distance, everybody's kind of going all out. But in distance events, right, there's more tactics involved, there's more strategy involved. So a lot of times people are going for the medal and not necessarily the world record.
Well, as of right now, United States winning the medal count by a lot. 86, I think is, and I'm trying to go back to it, but I'm pretty sure it was 86. And yep, there it is. Next closest is China, 59, and then Australia, 30. Well, actually, we're going by total medal count.
It's France. France was in third.
France is in third, and then
we were trailing China in golds for a while, but then, track. I said this the other day to somebody. I can't remember who I was talking to. I was like, "Oh, track's getting ready to start, so China won't win any medals in track." And then they go and they win the very first one in race walking. So I was like, "Dang it! I forgot about race walking."
I mean, it's still close as far as gold medal count, right? We're only 2 ahead of China, and then there's no one else.
We like just took the lead. We tied it last night. I think it was 19 going into today. And China won 3 right off the bat, and then we did what we did. So.
Okay, well, China's about to probably win the mixed race walking, so
maybe.
But no, it is nice seeing the host country doing well.
They did a whole spread about how like the host country just always does better in the Olympics. So in 4 years it's going to be in LA. So if we're dominating now, then it's going to be scary.
I think we've talked about it, but I got to get a ticket out there first. I don't know how it works. I've never done it before. I don't know what to do, but I want to go out there and watch a race. Dang it.
There's like some different tiers, and I don't remember it real well because I was a kid, but we did go to the Olympics in Atlanta. My family did. Yeah. My grandparents lived in Atlanta at the time, but I think they were in like a pool. And there's different like tiers that you can do. But obviously, if you want to go to something specific, you're going to pay a lot of money. But if you just want to go to the Olympics, then you can get put into a pool and just draw tickets for like whatever. That's why we ended up going to like field hockey and soccer and like Olympic baseball. So,
but you still have a shot, right? At the running events, at the track and field
you get a shot, but it's totally random.
They don't like black out certain events.
I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure how it works.
I mean, I would do that because whatever I go there to watch, you're still watching the highest level people in that sport, and that's fun to watch. So,
right.
I would do it, and who knows? Maybe I get lucky and I get breakdancing next time, and I'd get really excited for that. So I'm gonna have to look that up though. I've got a few years to save up some money.
Definitely. I mean, even for events like diving too, I've looked in the stands and there's a lot of open seats. So maybe a lot of these popular events you can get tickets easier than we think.
Or, why don't we just, state the obvious here and We should all just qualify for the Olympics.
Why didn't we
Right.
think of that? You know what? That's
That would
probably
probably be the easiest way to go.
Yeah. So I mean, I only got to cut my marathon time down by like an hour, and
that's fine.
I might have a shot. So
That's
yeah, I
fine.
think I can do that.
Y'all can go for running. I'm gonna go for archery. Okay, like let me in on that.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll find our way there somehow. Or our podcast is going to be so big by that time that they're going to invite us there. We're going to be the announcers. All right, at some of these events.
Well, once we get your first tattoo on you, Jake, then we'll just have to find another challenge to.
I'm a little nervous now because some people are actually responding to that. And
Are they? I looked at it earlier today, and we'd only added like one follower.
yeah, well, some people are commenting on the videos that were
they?
posted, and yeah, maybe I'll hold off on sharing those stickers that I made until until afterwards. But well, you guys
Let's
don't need to
see.
know who we are yet. So, honestly, I would do it. For those of you listening, if you're listening to this, I made a verbal commitment that on our last episode, if we get 1,000 followers on either platform, whether it be our Spotify listening platform or our YouTube viewing platform, 1,000 followers by the Chicago Marathon, and I'm committing to getting a RunTok Live tattoo. So, and then Carolyn is committed to getting whatever tattoo that Chase and I choose. So,
What?
oh yeah, we made that commitment for you. Sorry,
Was I asleep for that one?
probably. Yeah, there's a good chance of
Possibly.
that.
Honestly, yeah. Okay.
Come
My
to think of it, yeah, you weren't
right.
actually a part of that conversation, but
No. You're right. You're right. You know, I've really been working on my sleep, so it does make sense that I would have slept through that conversation. Good point.
I'm gonna tattoo what will be my qualifying time for the Marathon Olympics in the next 4 years.
Oh my
Qualifying time
gosh,
for the trials.
there are people that do that, and when they PR, they cross out that time and then put the
Yeah.
new PR above that, and they cross it out and the new time. I'm like, holy! I mean, I respect people. You know, I'm not gonna judge tattoos, but I'm like, holy cow, that's a lot of real estate
Well,
to.
sometimes you just have to, you have to will it, right? And if I tattoo a 2:07 marathon time on me, guess what? I guess I got to go run a 2:07 now and get myself to the Olympics. So I don't know if a 2:07 will get you in 4 years from now. We'll see.
I know we're getting faster, man.
We'll see.
I can't get our Spotify page to load up to see how many we got on there, but we've
That's
added a
because
couple on YouTube.
so many people are subscribing that the site's shut down.
It's shutting down.
It's like overloaded.
We broke it. We broke it. I'm gonna have Carolyn's gonna get the Mike Tyson facial tattoo.
You know what? That sounds so nice.
That's where I want my tattoo. I'm gonna put RunTok Live right here, just right on the side of my face.
That's such a great spot.
All right, guys.
All right. Yep. What event are you guys looking forward to for the rest of the Olympics? What's the highlight?
Marathon. The marathon.
Marathon.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
that's the one. I mean, the 5,000 or the 5,000 gonna be fun, but the marathons, I want to be surprised. I really want to be surprised in the marathon.
Like I said, we're going to be witnessing history one way or the other. Kipchoge versus Bekele one last time. Not saying that they're going to go 1-2 because I think they're both a little past their prime.
Yep.
Bekele especially, but it'd be cool to see Kipchoge win it. I think that'd be his third gold medal in the marathon in a row. So we'll have to see. But I'm really looking forward to the 400-meter hurdles battle on the women's side between Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone and Femke Bol.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun. Well, we'll still have a lot more to talk about next time. Man, Olympics, best time of the four, I don't want to say the year, but the 4 years for running.
Are we having a guest next time?
Yeah.
Do we have that lined up yet?
We can.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Carolyn, tell everybody where they can find you. They can find us at. I
Well,
can
you can
talk.
find us in 2026, okay, in 2028 in Los Angeles. But on social media, you can join our Facebook group at RunTok Live. You can email us at runtalklive@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube Shorts and Spotify at RunTalk Live. You can find me on TikTok at Carolyn McDuff and Instagram at Carolyn M. Levinway. Chase, where can people find you?
Pretty much everywhere as Chaser No Pacer, and I'm even posting photos and videos now with my Linktree QR code. So something fun that I learned the other day, that if you take a screenshot of that and then go to that photo in your photo album, click on the QR code, it'll take you right to my page where you can find our podcast. You can find all my pages, my training with Strava, my Coach Paul. You can find all that on my Linktree. Just look for that QR code. Jake?
And same as Chase, you can find me on all social media platforms at The Cultural Runner, TikTok being the main platform. And you can also find me in the Los Angeles Olympics running a 2:07 marathon. I'm going to tattoo it on the body, so it's going to be official.
That'll be his 19th tattoo after we get to 1,000 followers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
Once you get one, Jake, man, that I hear they're addicting. So
We'll see.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to another episode of Run Talk Live. We will see you on the next episode.
Peace.
Deuces.